brother. It's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just the
Duo.
of feathery brethren, weathering any season to see the Eagles eating teams like Scrammy's top with cheese. It's Philadelphia. Wulf and Zach kicking it cooler than
Two.
Penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some
Birds with Friends.
The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some
Birds with Friends.
Wulf and Zach coming at you with stats and things flapping their wings on.
How do you have time to consume all this content? You're listening to Dave Spadaro interviews?
I take a morning bike ride and I listen to
I want to hear more about that, but go ahead.
No, the Schuylkill Trail. I
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
yeah, that's
Hola, everybody, and welcome to Birds with Friends. Thursday early afternoon. Bo Wulf, Zach Berman, Marissa Dunn. Thankfully, none of us with a stomach bug. Here to talk about a truncated Eagles, not a joint practice, a blunt practice. Just themselves. No Dolphins. The Dolphins pulled out.
I see what you did there with joint and blunt. Okay.
You want to take over? You want to start? You know how rude it is when you interrupt when someone's talking on a podcast?
I actually do very well. I know how rude that is. Yes, I've been acutely trained to realize how rude that is. Go on. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, newsman. You want it. You want it. You got it.
I cede the floor back to you. Sorry for that.
I'm waiting. You got it. This could be the end of the show as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Eagles.
You know, we were gonna go at 1:00. We tell Marissa we want to go a little early. She's scrambling all over the place. We put her in a tough spot. We get this thing started. It's all fakakta from the start. You're interrupting me. I'm being stupid. What are we doing here? Should we even do the show? Should we end it now?
Yes, we should. No. Let's give our audience an update on what happened. Let's be their eyes and ears. The Eagles did practice today. It was the final practice we will see in its entirety before next spring. So I do think it's worth doing a pod.
That's true. Yes, the Dolphins, we get an email this morning that says they have a non-COVID illness going around. They are canceling their portion of practice, but the Eagles will still practice. I believe Mike Garafolo was first to report that it was a stomach bug. They had some players, feeling the effects of a stomach bug over the middle of the night. So the Eagles move forward. They are feeling no such effects. And we get a practice that was about 45 minutes long, Zach. So good stuff. I'm wearing my Dolphins orange. Welcome to Porpoises with Friends. I don't know. What do you got? Are you disappointed? How does this affect the Eagles? Before we get to the notes from practice, what did you think when you first heard? Did you think it was monkeypox? What's going on?
I did not think it was monkeypox, although I know others did, and so that kind of raised my eyebrows when others did. I did not know what it was. Non-COVID illness to cancel practice. I was waiting and trying to find out more, and then we soon learned more. You heard Mike McDaniel today. He had a press conference, and he spoke about how multiple players had this, and they didn't want to afflict the Eagles. So that's what occurred. It did take some of the wind out of the sails, right? The appeal to this,
no doubt,
is seeing a joint practice, is seeing two teams go up against each other in a competitive situation, and it's essentially, we've seen this around the league, replaced preseason games, right? So you and I are not going to be at the third preseason game here. This was our chance to see.
Much to your chagrin.
Much to my chagrin, correct. This was our chance to see the Eagles and Dolphins. And I thought yesterday's practice was fun to watch, and there was a lot going on there. And I wanted to see what day two was like. So
got different looks.
Certainly. But obviously, when something like this happens, you don't think about how this affects us, the reporters. You hope that those who are having the symptoms of a stomach bug feel better quickly, right? That's what matters most.
When you dream of Jalen Hurts and you wake up with the squirts, no more practice.
I am not going to interrupt you. So you can go on with your rhyming couplet. Um, uh, no, so I also we harken back actually to the food poisoning discussion from a few weeks ago, right?
Nice.
And you said to me, and I texted you and Marissa this morning. Um, you told me, "quote You would know if you had food poisoning," right? So
Yes.
I don't know if this is food poisoning, but certainly multiple players being sick. That you just hope they feel better and not worrying about our plight, if you will. And we still got a chance to watch practice.
No, I
And
mean
so
I think it's
enjoyed
fair to say that we are the victims here.
it. That's not fair to say. Not at all.
We're the ones
Um,
who are affronted by this turn of events.
Not at all. But it was so we got to see the Eagles in the heavy ones versus ones day, right? Got to see them situational work,
A very
um,
short practice.
like red zone extended, yeah, but still had some notes.
Yeah, we still had some notes.
Excuse me.
Before practice, yesterday we talked about how it seemed like the Dolphins defense got the better of the Eagles offense. And even though Jalen Hurts completed a lot of passes, there were so many checkdowns. It was sort of the platonic ideal of what Jonathan Gannon would want an opposing offense to look like. And Nick Sirianni, I think, was a little bit aware of the notion disseminated from the reporters that yesterday was not a good day for the Eagles offense. And he said before today's practice that yesterday's practice was Jalen Hurts' best practice as an Eagle since Nick Sirianni got to the team. What did you make of that?
So, excuse me. I apologize. I interpreted that. I interpreted that as Nick Sirianni standing up for his quarterback in the day. He was aware, even though if he says he's not reading it, he knows what the sentiment was.
They let me know about
practice.
these things that you guys are writing.
Exactly. So yeah, I think he was standing up for his quarterback. I saw, for instance, the Eagles social media team was doing like similar things yesterday, right? Like, pumping up. There was a tweet out from a Miami reporter about Darius Slay getting beat one-on-one. So then they go and they show Eagles receivers, right? So yeah, look, I think he's trying to stand up for his guy. I have not been to every single practice that Hurts has practiced since Sirianni's been here because I only get to see training camp and OTAs. Of the training camp practices that I've seen and the OTA practices that I've seen, well, I'll defer to you because I was watching the defense yesterday. But I've seen Hurts have good practices, and for that to be the best practice Hurts has participated in, it would there wouldn't be such a disconnect between you and an astute practice observer and what Nick saw. Now that said, I've always said this with practice, the one big difference that with the coaches watching it and with us watching it is they know the intent and the design of every play, right? We do not. We know the result of every play. And so we judge based on result. They can judge based on intent. And so that can account for a bit of a disconnect. But ultimately, as coaches will tell you, and as Marissa well knows, this is a results-oriented business, right? So if the goal is to score touchdowns and to move the ball effectively, it doesn't matter if like the read was right. What matters is you need to move the ball effectively. Now, Nick Sirianni did say that he liked the way Hurts played on third downs. What did you think of that in particular?
I thought he was fine yesterday. I stand by everything I said. I mean, he did seem to take what the defense was giving him for the most part, but he was jittery at the top of the pocket more than I have seen him be, and I think you probably give credit to the Dolphins defense for that. I didn't think he was bad yesterday, but I thought that he was a little bit more flustered than I have seen him. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with Sirianni standing up for his guy. I just don't necessarily believe every word that he said.
Fair enough.
Okay. Marissa, how are you? We haven't even heard from you.
I'm doing great, but I don't have my mic plugged in, so rookie mistake. Yeah, so if I don't sound that great, I'm sorry. But
well, you know what Zach likes to say: don't make the same mistake twice. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's training camp.
I have it right here, but I lost the little the little thing that goes around it. I don't know where it went.
So
I'm gonna have to figure that out.
I said that in the car ride today. And since then, Bo has made like repeated references to it that I perceive to be in like a mocking,
twice.
in a mocking way. Is
not
that
mocking.
a bad? Okay, yeah,
I'm not mocking at all.
Because I think that look, none of us are infallible, right? So the key is to learn from
Only
what
one.
we
There's
do.
only one of us infallible, and that is the Lord himself, Elijah Riley.
There you go, Pittsburgh Steeler. Yeah, so it's important to learn from a mistake that you make. I hope I do
It's not
not.
mocking.
I hope that, for instance, I hope that the word facsimile,
Nicely done.
I never make that mistake again. Because that, if I came on here and I said fake smile, then or face smile, then that would be problematic because that means I did not learn from my mistake. So yes, I did
There you
say
go.
that in the car, and I stand by that ethos.
Speaking of which, I do have to run by you something that was alerted to me by, I've got eyes and ears everywhere, a very plugged in reporter. And we were putting our stuff into the Dolphins facility before practice today. And I offered you my sunscreen. You did not have any sunscreen. And I then went to practice, and it was made aware to me. I don't know if this is how you read it, that you didn't use that sunscreen. Instead, you took sunscreen out of someone else's bag and applied that sunscreen. Is that true? Is that accurate?
So this is why whispered down the lane is an ineffective game. You could have just asked the source, or not.
I'm asking you now.
Yeah, in a public setting, I did use your sunscreen. However, I did not realize we were going to be watching practice from the sideline. Okay, so I applied sunscreen. I wouldn't say casually, but I didn't do my legs, right? I did, I put it on the face and the arms, right? And then we were watching practice from the sideline. And
Because yesterday we watched from the stands. Today we got to watch from the sideline.
Exactly. So I felt like the back of my legs, the back of my neck, these were things that were getting hit hard. And when we are in the stands, the sun is not like you're not facing the sun's not hitting your back. It's not hitting the back of your legs. Right. And I didn't know how long we were going to be out there. So then I went over to the tent to reapply. Okay. And I found, and there was sunscreen hanging out of someone's bag, and that person was not around for me to ask, but I felt like it would be a gentleman's agreement here to just use the sunscreen on a day when it was probably the UV index was probably near 10, right? Probably 9 or 10, right? So I don't feel bad about this. It has nothing to do with you. Your sunscreen was good. It was simply I did not prepare to be on the sideline through the duration of practice, and I didn't want to get home and have a red. As I'm saying, I didn't want my neck to be red. I am careful with my terminology around you because I don't want it to be a drop.
I didn't. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yes.
Marissa, what's your ruling here?
I think that's better than getting sunburn. So I will say, because that's the worst. No one wants to do that. Emily would be mad at you if you got home and were sunburned. And
if you came home as a redneck, she would not be happy.
Yes.
So I think I actually see there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to have to say I'm on Zach's side for this because
Did you alert the person whose sunscreen you borrowed that you had indeed done that?
I did not. I can text him now because I saw whose bag it was. But
I think you should do that.
I think it was someone
That'll be on both sides. Like, hey, by the way, I used your sunscreen today. I think that would be a great text.
Why don't you text him now, and then we'll find out by the end of the podcast if that person responds and says it was okay.
I think it'd be really. I think he would kind of like be taken aback if I said, "Hey, by the way, 3 hours ago, I used a little bit of your sunscreen to put on my neck and the back of my legs. Just want to make sure."
You don't have to tell him where you put it.
Just want to make sure retroactively that's okay. I think he would. I think he would be like, Zach, why are you texting me this? Yeah.
Because it's been hanging on. It hasn't been hanging on your conscience.
There was other things that hang on my conscience that has not hung on my conscience. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, he hasn't gone to sleep yet tonight, Bo.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll
there are,
see.
there are other things
Mitch,
that.
when your head hits the pillow, you might all of a sudden feel differently about that sunscreen experience. But I guess we'll find out.
Don't worry,
All right,
Zach. I'm not
we got to
gonna-
get through a couple breaks, so let's take our first break, and then we will be back with our thoughts and notes from the Eagles practice, which, as Zach said, was ones and twos heavy, and some movement on the injury list. We will get to that when we return.
How well would you take care of your car if you had to keep the same one your entire life? That's how our brains work, so why don't we treat them that way? There are plenty of ways to support a healthy brain, like learning a new language or taking power naps. There's also BetterHelp Online Therapy. I know football season is so stressful for my work life and personal life, and it's so important to talk to someone to relieve stress. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat-only therapy sessions, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our Birds with Friends listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/BWF. That's BETTERHELP.com/BWF. Our next sponsor is Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. You can learn how to cook from Gordon Ramsay, improve your jump shot from Steph Curry, or even learn how to sing from Christina Aguilera. With over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. I recently checked out that Steph Curry class with my little nephew who loves basketball, and we were blown away. The coolest part is you could start and stop at any time and return back and watch all the videos. It's so cool, and he is loving it. I highly recommend you check it out. Get unlimited access to every masterclass, and as a Birds with Friends listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/firstdown. That's masterclass.com/firstdown for 15% off masterclass.
All right, we are back
Good job on those ads.
Yeah, but we told her that yesterday.
Do I sound better?
Can't compliment someone twice, right?
Don't make the same compliment twice. All right, let's get to the injury report. Newcomers to the list not practicing today: Derek Barnett, who had a rib injury; A.J. Brown, who was simply resting; Andre Sacheret, who had a groin injury; Landon Dickerson, who they say was resting. However, he did leave practice yesterday with a bit of an injury, so I suppose it's minor, but something interesting going on there. That's the list of the new guys. Everybody else who is still injured: Sean Bradley, who had an illness. You wonder if he's the patient zero here with the Dolphins. Christian Ellis, who has a hamstring. Javon Hargrave with a toe. Josh Jobe with an elbow. Jason Kelsey with an elbow. Miles Sanders still out with a hamstring. Josiah Scott still out with a hamstring. Greg Ward still out with a toe. And Jack Anderson, who we discussed yesterday, back at practice as a full participant from the ribs injury. And James Bradbury was also a little bit more involved today, although I do not think he participated in team drills, really. So there you go. Anything you're worried about, Zach?
No, as we discussed yesterday, there are roster math questions with some of these injuries that have gone on. I still keep hearing Miles Sanders should be okay for week 1. We'll have a better sense of that, I suppose, next week. Barnett, he's a notable player. So the ribs injury popping up there, something to monitor, but can't tell you that's a source of concern. At this point, the Eagles have avoided those major injuries, right? They've avoided the Tyron Smith injury.
Calamity.
They've avoided the Tyron Smith injury in Dallas. They've avoided the type of injury that can materially affect your season. And I can't imagine the starters are going to play on Saturday night. So my guess is that they are not going to get, more injured before they play Detroit.
Okay. You want to go through your notes on practice? Short practice.
Yes. I'm actually going to leave the screen for a minute because my notes are in my backpack. I'm just going to grab those.
Unbelievable. Marissa, how was the Browns practice this morning?
I don't know. Haven't heard back.
Oh, you had
from
Browns.
yet.
You said you had Browns this morning. I thought you meant
practice.
practice.
No, yeah.
Podcast.
But I actually have a question based off that Tyron Smith injury. There's been a lot of Andre Dillard trade Would they would they do it? What do you think? Saw a lot of that circulating
they
on
would.
Twitter today. Oh, you do? Interesting. Okay.
Although I feel like from the Cowboys' vantage point, the Eagles' willingness to trade him to them would be signal that they shouldn't trade for him. But yes, I think if the Cowboys are willing to give up a third round pick, I think the Eagles would do that. I think they have plenty of ways to get to Andre Dillard.
They would just have Derek Barnett rush him that whole game.
Exactly.
I think, excuse me, I think the Eagles would hold the Cowboys under the proverbial gun, if you will, right? Like they would say, all right, you need a left tackle. We have a starting caliber left tackle to give you, but it's going to cost you. And I don't know if they can reach a price that would be like, it won't be market value. It'll be beyond market value. And
right. You would imagine the Cowboys will have a better option somewhere else.
Exactly. Like,
Jason Peters.
The Eagles would be like, give me a second round pick. Yeah. But no,
what about JP? He's still on the street, right?
He's still on the street. Yeah. I don't know if that's the way they would go.
I still can't believe the Colts are going to be trotting out Matt Pryor as their starting left tackle. Isn't that wild?
That's the way it's going. Yeah. I mean, I didn't see Matt Pryor as a starting left tackle. The Eagles didn't see it, but good for him. He could start in his second playoff game this year.
Nice. Good pull.
His first career start was in that game against Seattle.
Yeah, a game you remember very well because
why? Well, I remember very well because I got to do a podcast with you and Sheil. It was the first post-game pod that the three of us did together. So that's what I remember very well. It's not about me, it's about us.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, it's about hardware, baby.
No, it's about the team, right? Like
flag fly forever, Zach.
The team.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give us your notes.
Okay. So here I have these.
What do they say?
Pieces of paper here. So in summation here.
Oh, that's interesting. You ripped off the paper. I didn't even think about how the logistics of that.
Yeah, because I gave you back your notebook. So
yeah,
I used 4 pieces of paper. That's okay. A bigger running day from Jalen Hurts than we've seen recently, and I don't know if this was going to be the plan had they practiced against the Dolphins, but I keep harping on this that Jalen is their goal line running back. Jalen is their short yardage running back. There's this notion that the Eagles need this big physical back, and to me, that's Jalen Hurts' role. And the data proves it, right? If he's more effective in short yardage situations than LeGarrette Blount was for the Eagles, than Jordan Howard was for the Eagles. And they had, for instance, a goal line play today when they went 5 wide, so they went empty, and Jalen was in shotgun, and he took the snap and then rushed for the touchdown. They were on, the 3-yard line there?
I thought Fletcher Cox tackled him on that play.
Did you think Cox tackled him?
Yeah, I thought it was like a clear Fletcher Cox tackle, but maybe it was a different play.
Okay. Well, then I stand corrected, but nonetheless.
But the point remains, yeah.
Yeah. And he did, he did some he kept the ball more than we've seen in recent practices.
The final drill today was it was like a live quote unquote session where it's like you got to try to score as the game is going down. They started on the 25-yard line, and I think it was either like a 3rd and long or 4th down, and Jalen Hurts scrambled, and they ruled it a touchdown, and I thought that was the craziest thing. Like Kaiser White was there to get him right at the 1st down marker at like the 15-yard line, and he pulled off because it's the quarterback. And Sirianni's like, touchdown. It's a touchdown. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, we're giving, I felt like a concussion uncle. We're giving out like lollipops and participation trophies, touchdown trophies on this. Kaiser White would have killed him on that play.
Jeez,
did you have that same reaction?
I saw him. I
think they just wanted to get to the work. They wanted to close it up and get the 2-point conversion snap in. But that was not a touchdown. My word.
I wasn't as aggrieved by it as you were. But
if we're going to be on the field, let's call it like we see it. Let's not live in a fantasy land.
Okay. So that I thought Dallas Goedert had the catch of the day. He had a nice contested catch. on a package when it looked like they had it looked like 13 personnel, right? They had 3 tight ends there.
I don't have that played. I don't have the personnel on there.
Okay. Can observe
Sorry.
practice a little better. I'm kidding.
Exactly.
That was a joke. No, it was definitely 12, and then I think the next play might have been 13. Calcaterra was wide on the next play. I thought, Gardner Minshew had 2 throws that stood out to me. 7-on-7 period early in practice, hit Gainwell across the middle for a touchdown. A nice pattern, nice throw by Minshew there. And then also Minshew had he changed his arm angle. If you recall that, did you see that one in 11s when it was a little screen, but the pass rush was coming in and he changed. It was a sidearm pass. Did a good job improvising there. Nick Sirianni said before practice he thinks Minshew had a good day yesterday, and
I thought it was his best day.
Yeah, and Sirianni, I was trying to kind of save this nugget a bit, but his teams have generally gone with 2 quarterbacks from like what
you asked
I
him
have
about
seen.
this.
Yes, exactly.
What do you mean you were trying to save it? You asked him the question.
Yeah. So no, but like I didn't think he was going to say that his teams have gone with 2 more than 3.
But you asked him, do you generally prefer keeping 2 or 3?
Do you prefer? Yes, exactly. So he explained that has more experience keeping 2, but he said there's going to be a lot of factors that go into it. Liked the way Minshew played yesterday. Thinks Reed Sennett, I gotta get the media guide. Has had a good summer. So this is one that could be dictated by Saturday night, right? Like if I don't think the QB3 is as much of a lock as some others in our media corps do, but like I said yesterday, I am very open to changing my mind, and so we'll see the way he plays on Saturday. Didn't get much work today though. Today was mainly 1s and 2s,
and I'm guessing Minshew is not going to play on Saturday either.
Oh, really? You don't think Minshew is either?
Maybe a series.
Okay,
but I don't think. I think at this late stage, they're probably ready to go with Minshew. Then they'll let Sinnett and maybe Carson Strong get a look.
Okay.
With Dickerson out, Sua Opeta, of course, was your starting left guard. The second team offensive line went from left to right: Andre Dillard, Coyote Awashika, Cameron Tom, Jack Anderson, and Jack Driscoll. Anderson right back on the bubble. He and Coyote. You're going to keep 1. You're going to keep neither. You're going to keep 2. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, Zach. It's going to be tough. Josh Blackwell re-signed to fill the spot by the Hugo Amadi trade. Saw Kerry Vincent and Mario Goodrich getting the reps with the 2s on the outside. I thought Teron Jackson had a very good day today.
He did. He had that rush from around the right side.
Yeah, it looked like he had maybe 2 sacks, and he also, I believe, had an interception on a tipped pass. So, shout out to Teron Jackson, the Eagle who has had the 4th best summer, according to the definitive rankings of the 86 Eagles, how they've played this summer.
Yeah, I agree. I had 75 in my notes as well. Rolled up the jersey.
Yes. Reed Blankenship made a nice play, rolling with Gardner Minshew and extending those long arms for a nice pass breakup. Jaquiski Tartt still, I think Jaquiski Tartt is like, I don't know yet what I'm going to do with Jaquiski Tartt. He's working with the 2s now. After working with the 3s, it seems like they're a little bit more open to Jaquiski at the moment. Nick Sirianni said some nice things about his performance in the Browns game. This is a tough one. What do you make, Zach? What do you make?
I still lean toward no. I don't know if I've seen enough from him, but I hear your point, and that's a position where they might just want reliability, right? And they don't have They're undermanned there. I said I don't like the top of the depth chart, don't like the bottom of the depth chart. And so someone who has been there, done that, proven it, has a track record that's better than the pre-seat. Now, if you look at recent history, Patrick Robinson had a bad summer to start. Now, that was when he was playing the outside. Then the Eagles trade for Darby, and he moves inside. But really, Robinson came on during the season. So maybe Tart just needs some time. I see Marina Sands here says Tart is the best safety on the roster. Look, I can only go based on the 16 practices we've seen. In the 16 practices we've seen, in my opinion, Marcus Epps is clearly the best safety on the roster.
I agree.
But Marcus Epps doesn't have the best track record of any safety on the roster. I would say Anthony Harris has had a more productive career than Tart has, but Tart is up there. But again, that's gonna be a big question here: is do they do anything at safety? And like I wrote the other day, safety's a spot where don't listen to what they say. Like, watch what they've done. They tried in the offseason to add to that position. Okay. They tried to sign Marcus Williams. They looked at some other safeties. This summer, they
could have had two Marcuses starting.
They moved. They obviously signed Tart in June. Then they moved Scott over. They trade JJ for someone who's purportedly a safety. They didn't use him at safety. But I don't think they're looking at their safety depth chart and saying, like, we're higher on these guys than the public is, right? Like I excuse me. I do think they're kind of honest about where they are at safety right now, behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. All right, Zach, anything else? I mean, that was about it from practice. It was
more kicking than we've seen in previous practices.
Okay, how did Jake Elliott look to you?
Look good.
Okay.
Look good. Yeah. I wouldn't be worried about Jake Elliott right now.
After practice, we heard from a few players. Devontae Smith saying that he said, "You know what's crazy? I got a Wawa addiction." And
good product placement by him, by the way. He's a spokesperson
addicted.
for Wawa.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
That makes sense then. But maybe that also makes sense because it means he's getting maybe he gets him free, which would be a nice pull.
Yeah, but I think if he wanted to pay for a Wawa hoagie, he can pay for a Wawa hoagie, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why not? If it's free, it's for $6.
Oh, that was like when yeah. Okay, that was.
He said he's been eating healthier, but he still slips up sometimes. There are some things, and I asked him what are your guilty pleasures, and he said, "You know what's crazy? I got a Wawa addiction. I have one of those like almost every day." So, of course, being the big J journalist that I am, I said, "What's your go-to order?" He said the honey turkey. So there you go.
What's your go-to order there?
I don't usually get a Wawa hoagie. It's I've got no better choices if I'm getting a Wawa hoagie, to be honest.
Sure. Yeah.
I go to Wawa for convenience, but if I'm looking for a treat myself to a hoagie, I'm finding a
where you going?
Pasta Fissios, Shanks.
Shanks, I go the cutlet at Shanks. Cutlet Italiano at Shanks.
Oh, have we lost Zach?
No, I'm here.
Wow.
Can you hear me?
No,
Are you okay?
yeah.
Did you get the monkeypox?
No, but I need to get water if you don't mind.
All right, why don't we take
be out of the screen? Okay.
We'll come back, and it's time after that to talk about a very interesting dinner experience that Zach and I had last night.
Peloton isn't just about bikes and treadmills. It's a team of instructors ready to motivate you 24/7. With Peloton, there are literally thousands of classes ranging from strength training and yoga to running and boxing, which means Peloton is the perfect non-judgmental space to experiment with new types of movement at a level and pace that feel good for you. But what if you're super busy? It doesn't matter if you have 5 minutes or an hour. If you are an early riser or a fan of the evening burn, there's a Peloton class that fits into your day. Maybe you're looking for a 10-minute upper body stretch between calls or a 30-minute run before bed. Peloton is where you'll find what works for you on your schedule whenever that happens to be, at home, at the gym, or even outdoors. Oh, and did I mention that the music is absolutely iconic? In the mood to blast 90s hip hop? There's a class for that. Need to ugly cry to some power ballads after a bad day at work? There's a class for that. Looking for a Pride Month playlist that will get your blood pumping? There's a class for that. Whatever you're into, Peloton has the music that will get you moving. Motivation that moves you anytime, anywhere. Try the Peloton bike or tread risk-free for 30 days. Learn more at onepeloton.com. New members only. Terms apply.
All right, back on Birds with Friends. Bo, Zach, and Marissa. You okay, Zach?
Yeah, am I allowed to compliment Marissa on that ad read? I thought that was a good Peloton
Truly
ad read.
iconic.
Yeah, she did a
Zach,
good job.
Too
there.
many compliments. I'm going to start
It's true.
complimenting you this much. So,
But wouldn't allow that on the show.
oh, wow.
That's not true. All right, Zach. Is there anything else we should talk about from today's practice? What about who we heard from after practice? Did you glean anything from
we heard from Jalen
Hurts?
Hurts. You were with Jalen for I was speaking to Kaiser White and Marcus Epps. There's some good stories that I am working on both those guys. That
Wow, big flex. You're already saying they're going to be good stories.
There are stories that I'm working on both those guys.
I bet they'll
hope
be
are good
great stories, Zach.
But just
There you go, Marissa.
just trying to give our readers a sense. Look, I'll give you guys a peek behind the curtain here. Okay, during the 4 weeks of training camp, Bo's doing a peeking thing here. During the 4 weeks of training camp, the bulk of our coverage, we had a Kelsey thing, we had a Jordan Davis thing, but the bulk of our coverage is practice, right? Because I think that's where most of the attention is. And now we shift to a different mode here, and I think you're going to see more features as we get in the locker room. You're going to see more Wolf's Den. The types of the types of stories you'll see will start to change because I think there's such a demand and such a necessity, if you will, to be the eyes and ears of the fans at practice. But now that we are no longer at these practices and the season's approaching, you'll see different types of stories. So have some good ones up my sleeve and looking forward to doing it.
Okay. Jalen Hurts talked about his grandmother. You asked him a trenchant question because he had posted a video about FaceTiming his grandmother on his Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, what else did Hurts say? Did Hurts agree yesterday was his best practice?
You know what? He wasn't asked that in that specific way. So
okay.
I asked him about the thing that Tua said about them texting back and forth during the season, giving some insight into opposing teams that one of them had faced. And I asked if there was how extensive is his network, which he didn't really answer. He talked about the Tua thing and what they talked last year. And he said it's always good to ask guys around the league or coaches for insight, but that's okay. He didn't answer my, we're now at the point of the season where I'm doing my,
well, if you had to pick one guy on the team who's going to have a good season, a big season, who would it be?
And it's like,
why are you doing an impression of yourself? Speaking your normal voice, it's you asking it. You did generic media.
It's a Melvin-y type question. It's in a press conference setting. Like everybody's gathered around and it's like,
if someone's going to have a big season on the team, who would it be?
I feel a little embarrassed when I ask those questions. I would rather get them in person in the locker room, which I did do after the first preseason game.
Yes.
But, the flip side there. The flip side, we're not traveling to these games, so I got to get these guys. It's a yearly staple piece, bequeathed from whatever his name is, who used to be on the show, and I'm trying to get
his name. Put some respect.
I don't know,
as Miles Sanders would say.
And I'm just trying to get the work done, But if I was another reporter and every time there's a new guy, this bozo over here has to ask this question. Here we go. Jalen Hurts did not answer that question. He said, "I hope we all have a big season."
I would expect Jalen to give that type of response. I liked AJ Brown's answer. Can we say it, or do you have to wait for the article for that one? HE said he thinks he's going to have a big season. He said he will always say himself. I like when someone answers with himself.
Zach Pascal said the same.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of confidence, right? I think I'm going to have a big season. I'm excited for the stories I'm going. Yeah, I mean,
Zach, I'm proud of you for that. That's good.
Yeah,
Yes.
look, we're back in the locker room. I have expectations about the type of stories that I need to write. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have a big season. I think Bo's gonna have a big season. The return of Wolf
I'm glad
Den.
somebody does.
We haven't seen Wolf's Den in a while, so eager to see those again. Yeah, so I like that type of confidence.
Very good answer.
Okay. I mean, I would instead of boasting, I would take the opportunity to gas up a teammate. Like I care more about being a teammate than gassing up myself. That's just the kind of way I'm wired.
I just said Bo's gonna have a big season
After you.
Come on,
All right,
Bo. You gotta
let's
give
move
it
on to
to
the
him.
next
Zach
topic.
never says anything good about himself. This is a good sign.
You're right.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
All right. The next topic, Zach, is I think our final topic, and that is the
know where
dinner
you're going
experience
with this.
that we had last night. We
Enjoyed dinner
debated
with
whether
you.
we were going to talk about it on the pod. I feel like we should unpack it. There are times
Do we
when
really
I
have
needle,
to unpack it?
when I needle you about your neuroses. I was the one experiencing the neuroses last night.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't feel the need to needle you on a public forum about it. So you can share what you're willing to share. But I thought dinner last night was just a night out with two friends. I didn't think it needed to be shared to the masses here. Whatever you would like to share, feel free, and I'll add my commentary as I deem
We are
appropriate.
staying in a specific part of town where there are not many dining options. We went to a nice restaurant on what was that? Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Tuesday night
Last night
with
was
Kemsky
Wednesday.
that we talked about. That was great. Last night, Zach suggested we go to this steakhouse at the a specific hotel that happens to be where the team is staying. And so we're sitting in this like hoity-toity steakhouse, and there are other Eagles people there, and it felt a little out of place.
I felt like we were just sitting down to have dinner, right? We're not interviewing them.
It felt a little thirsty to me. Like, here we go, here we are. Let's take a look and watch what the guys are doing as they have dinner. It felt a little.
But I wasn't doing that. I was talking to you. I was talking to you about.
Yeah,
your
we
family.
weren't doing that, but I felt like that would have been the perception of us. And I also was the seat that I was sitting in was like a sort of like a couch, and I was like sunk down. I looked like a toddler with my elbows way up on the table. Like, okay, Zach, here we go. Let's look for autographs with the players.
All the stuff that, like, if the situation was reversed, you would have called me out quite a bit. You had every right to be there as anyone else. It was a nice meal.
Sure.
If you Google best restaurant in this area, this is the place that comes up. There was nothing. And so they had no issue there. It was a nice night out, and enjoyed your company, and didn't feel out of place at all.
No, we also were out of place because we were there because they have a specific deal in Miami these days at a few restaurants where it's like a 3-course menu for I believe $60, whereas like everything else on this menu is very very pricey. So we were there. We were the paupers, and I felt like one. And I felt like that's how I was being viewed.
The reason they have that deal, that menu, is for people to order from it. Like, they wouldn't offer it if it wasn't an option.
You say that knowing that they didn't offer it. They gave us the regular menus, and you had to ask for that specific menu. So they didn't offer it.
Yeah, but I'm saying they offer it at the menu. They weren't like, this is not available. It's not like we ordered
but they were
off
like,
menu.
oh, we got one of those.
You are overthinking this in such a big way. You were overthinking this. We had a nice dinner out, and it really did not need to be podcast fodder. The only thing that would have made it better is if Marissa was joining us as well.
Yeah, but you were reveling in the fact that I was uncomfortable.
I was not reveling in it. I was just.
You thought it was fun to have the roles reversed. You said as such.
I didn't think it was fun. I noted that if the roles were reversed, you would be like all over me about this. And instead, I was boosting you up. I said you have nothing. I said you. I don't know why we're discussing this here. Right? There's no need for this on the pod.
Because it was a
Marissa,
short practice. We were only like 35 minutes into the episode. We had to talk about something else.
I wish I could have came with you guys.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Dinner
Thank
with you
you.
guys is great, so I'm a little jealous. But
Corey says this is the literal content we are here for. Okay.
Yeah.
True.
So Claire says the same. I felt very
Okay.
uncomfortable.
I did not. I felt uncomfortable that you kept pointing out like that as if we're not entitled to eat at this restaurant.
Well, I never said we weren't entitled to be there, but I just,
Right.
felt a little thirsty.
All right. Well, you just need to drink some more water then. I don't know. You were putting back a few drinks there. So
I think that's a drop.
Well, the couple next to us was celebrating the guy's birthday, and then he was, I would say, like 12 sheets to the wind. And
by the way,
left,
he decidedly was not neurotic about. He was not neurotic about being there. He did not.
No, not at all.
He did not feel thirsty. Yes.
And she offered us. They had a nice carafe of wine. They said they bequeathed it to us, and so yeah, I'm not going to turn down a free drink.
No, you do not turn down a free drink. I know that. Yes.
Wow, calling me a lush.
All right. Yeah. No, but it was. I always enjoy these trips to get to spend quality time with you. So it's been a nice 2 days.
It has.
And
go ahead.
And I was gonna say we're back on the road next. Detroit is the next road trip, and then after that, Arizona in October. So there's a bit of time at home where we can reintroduce ourselves to our families for these next few weeks.
Okay.
You did not sell
We're trying
that
to we're going to the airport to try to get on an earlier flight to try to get home to our families. So fingers crossed for the standby buddies.
Yep.
Not feeling great about it, but I don't know.
Be optimistic, right?
What if Zach
Well, I
gets off
suffered twice.
standby and you don't, Bo?
Well, that is a very likely thing to happen because he has more standing
Right.
with American Airlines. I mean,
Zach,
they
you'll
might let him
never hear the end of it.
they might let him fly the plane.
I am afraid of this occurring, Marissa. I literally pointed out the Bo because I was nervous about going to the airport for standby for this exact reason, and I said like very like politely and like innocently, I'm like, but there's a chance one of us might get on and the other one might not, and I was like, I just want to put that out there, and
yeah, I know how that goes. It's not going to be me.
But we don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get on.
They're going
There's
to
a
look
lot
at
of
me and say,
options.
"Wait a second, are you that loser who ordered the Miami Spice menu at the steakhouse last night?" No, not you.
Yeah, I mean they won't say that. They look. Well, we're excited to get home, and we got good podcasts coming up next week. I just want to kind of frame what's upcoming here. Okay, Saturday night we are doing a live viewing, and like we discussed yesterday, we will go longer than we did the first one. I think into the second half, maybe like we mentioned a 2 hour.
2 hours.
Yeah, let's say 2 hours. So, and I don't want to say backed by popular demand, but we received positive feedback on the play-by-play. Bo is a terrific play-by-play guy. I will be more prepared this time for my color commentating. I'm literally going to put notes together on different players. And so we will have that for a chunk of the pod. And then next week we will have a cut down pod on Tuesday. We have a special guest coming on Thursday, and then we are into game week there after that. And we need to get the over-unders. We need to get the over-unders
draft. We got to get our Eagles prediction draft. So we got lots to get to.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all we got. Marissa, anything else to add?
No, I hope you guys get back safe and enjoy some family time. You guys have been on the road a lot, so hope you get some good time with your wife and your kids.
Can't wait. I'm planning a special day for the kids tomorrow. Emily has plans tomorrow night, so I'm on duty, and we're gonna have some fun. We're Yeah, I got some
Oklahoma
fun
drills?
activities planned. No, not Oklahoma drills. But-
Writing lesson?
No, but the library actually is on the agenda because we have some
Nice.
books to return.
Mm.
Yes.
There you go. Jane is hopefully getting her cast off tomorrow, so that's what we
Oh,
are.
big day.
We're excited about.
Huge day.
So exciting stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll do it for this episode of Birds with Friends. What, Marissa, could you be professional? What was that?
So my thing just unplugged, my mic. So I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay. All right. So for Marissa and whatever weird sound that was, and Zach, I'm Bo. Thanks for listening. Elijah too. We will talk to you on Saturday night if there is an Eagles-Dolphins game. We will have the play-by-play watch along for a couple hours, and then we'll be back once the roster cuts come. Big stuff. Who's going to win? Can your boy go back to back to back to back? We'll
That's
find
the
out.
real suspense coming up.
In all honesty, yes, that's true.
Yes,
That is the most important storyline over the next couple days. So for Zach, I already did all this part. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. As always. Zach, you want to say something?
There's one. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was one thing I did want to add to our loyal listeners here. We need to get some more. As Sheil would always tell us, the like, subscribe, comment. We need to get some fresh comments in there. So please, we check them. I like feedback, whatever you might have. So make sure you go on to any place you can, rate and review the show, and please do so.
You like the YouTube comments because they're mostly people complaining about me.
I don't like those, but it really seems to trigger you now. I didn't realize you look at those, but I did notice that. but your response to that is the lean into it even more, right? It's not like maybe I'll let up on Zach. It's like I'm gonna twist that knife even more.
That's not true. I talked yesterday about coming clean on the asking waiters for what their
Okay,
advice
fair
was.
enough. Mhm.
I'm just calling it like I see it.
I appreciate.
But yeah,
that.
I mean,
all right,
if you don't want a podcast with me as the host, listen to a different podcast. All right, get the hell out of here. I don't care.
I appreciate all our listeners and always looking for ways to get better.
All right, that's it. Thanks for listening. For everybody, as always, we love you.